YTBC, what's the deal? So I was on boxingscene.com and I was reading an interesting article. I will leave the article in the description box. It was Dillian Whyte going on and on about Anthony Joshua, but he says a lot in the article. He was talking about, had it not been for his injury he sustained in the second round with his shoulder, he feels as if that he would have not only uh, just rocked Anthony Joshua like he did, but he would have stopped him. Then he said that he gassed out and he was throwing wild shots and he didn't do what his coaches wanted him to do. You know what I mean? So what he's saying is, he could have knocked him out in the second round. We know that he did take Anthony Joshua to the seventh. Prior to the fight, Joshua had not gone more than 3 rounds. He beat him in the amateurs, so it was a good storyline going into the first fight. And after the fight, I was one of the first guys in the YTBC saying, because Joshua started saying after the fight that he wants a rematch. Although he had knocked White out. And I was like, man, we do not need to see this fight again. I mean, you knocked the guy out. But hearing Anthony Joshua himself say that he's not ready for world level comp yet, he still thinks that there are things to be, hashed out as far as getting better as a fighter. He's not ready to take the world by storm just yet. So I'm glad that he's a realist about his career and he's not riding his own hype train thinking that he can fight Tyson Fury next. I think Fury will school him if they were to fight in 4 months or something. I think he'll get schooled. So I agree with Anthony Joshua about his career. He does need a guy like Dillian Whyte. Now, with this Dillian Whyte fight, if it's a rematch, I want to see the rematch. Because Dillian Whyte, some of you say it is excuses. And we know that it's not Anthony Joshua's fault that you got tired or you hurt your shoulder. Although the shoulder did need surgery on it a few days after the fight. But still, that's not Anthony Joshua's fault. Shit, you could have knocked him out. He ended up getting you out of there in the 7th. So, but with that said, White shoulder was fucked up. So let's, what if he was 100%? I know it's if, but what if he was 100% though? Could he have stopped him? Could it, if he wasn't a gassed out, if he still had a sharp mind, would he have known to just settle down and place shots instead of trying to go wild and, who knows? I think Dillian Whyte can fight a better fight than he did his first time around. It's not like he fought the best fight he could have fought and he lost. I think he could fight way much better than he did in that first fight. Now, Anthony Joshua, I think there are some things defensively he could have done a lot better than in that first fight. So both of these guys, not like they fought the perfect fights and, the best man won that night. No, they both fought the best fights they could possibly fight that night, but it wasn't, I don't think it's going to be the finished product of what they will be. You know what I mean? They still look crude in that fight, both of them. So, 3 months from now or 4 months from now, I would like to see a rematch. First, I wasn't for it, but now thinking about it and, hearing Dillian Whyte come out and, have an article on Boxing Scene, he's getting it back out there again, I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Because I know Anthony, I know people want to see Joshua in there with Deontay Wilder. I'm telling you, man, Joshua's not ready for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, and he's not ready for that right now. He's not. He's telling you he's not by saying, I want the Dillian Whyte rematch after the fight. I believe he said it at the press conference. At the post-fight press conference, he said this. So he's not ready for that. So I think a Dillian Whyte fight would be good. What do y'all think about this, YTBC? Also, in this article, let me read. In the article was about, I think Dillian Whyte was saying something about the rap artist. I think it was some type of musician that led Anthony Joshua to the ring on fight night. I guess Dillian Whyte has his opinion about, why would you let that artist lead you out to the ring? I don't know, some shit about that, but I'm focusing on the boxing. Now, what he said was, this is what Whyte said about Joshua. He said he's not a one-punch knockout artist. I was more exhausted than anything else. I was surprised by how slow he is and how easy he is to hit. He's not as powerful as everybody says. I'm not making excuses, but I was in pain and exhausted. Those are excuses. Okay, but then, he says, I panicked and started throwing those rights. He doesn't hit as hard as people make out. Okay, well, only Whyte can tell us if he can, how hard Anthony Joshua hits, you know what I mean? But from viewing it, you got knocked out. So, like, he does hit hard. But I do believe him when he says that it's not like you're going to get in there with Joshua and the first shot he land on you, you're going to fall over, or the first few shots he land on you, you're going to fall over. It's not going to go like that in all your fights. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder has come to learn that in his fights with Stavern and Duhapa. Like, you're not just going to go in there, lay a glove on somebody, and they're just going to fall over all the time. That's not going to happen, especially when you start moving up in competition. And this isn't even really, Anthony Joshua moved up to the, top five. This is still trying to get over the hump on top level prospects. You know what I mean? So, like I said, man, both of these guys look crude in that first fight, and I do think that both of these guys can fight better fights. You know what I mean? So, but if these guys both fight better fights, would Anthony Joshua still be the favorite? Because if you want to say they had a bad performance the first fight, well, that first fight proved to me that a bad Anthony Joshua beats a bad Dillian Whyte. And I also think a good Anthony Joshua will still beat a good Dillian Whyte. But I would love to see the rematch just for the storyline. And hey, man, who knows, Dillian Whyte doesn't, if his shoulder wasn't fucked up and that didn't happen, who knows what would have happened. But what did happen is Joshua knocked him out. But I love to see the rematch just for the storyline and just see how much better both of these guys have gotten over, whenever this fight takes place, if it does take place 4 months from now, 5 months from now. Um, what kind of shape will they come in? I think Dillian Whyte could come in better shape. Can Anthony Joshua come in better shape? I mean, he looked like a damn comic book figure. You know what I mean? Like, could he come in better shape than that? I think Dillian Whyte can come in better shape. I think it'll be interesting, but I'll still pick Joshua because I think he's the better of the two prospects. YTBC, I'm out.